and hot.
Yeah, it's damn good coffee and hot. Good morning, folks. A little on the dark side. On the dark side. Oh yeah. Good morning, folks. It is Tuesday. That's a little better. Who turned down the light? Um, Tuesday, May 10th. By May the 10th, Richmond had fell. Time I remember oh so well. 2022. That's a long way of saying the date. Good morning. I hope you're having a great day today. It seems like springtime here in New York. Let me see what my weather report is. I'm going to check my phone really quick if that's okay with you. Yeah, like I can do anything really quick in this world. Um, oh, that's Cupertino, California, which I don't care about. Thank you. Come on. See, apps, technical apps. Oh, I hate the world. Oh, I was just there. Sure, I'm New York. Come on. Cupertino. There it is. We'll probably go up to 66 today. Oh, everything changed on my forecast, though. Oh, that's terrible. I was looking at almost 80 degrees later this week. Not happening. Probably 70. And now all of a sudden the weekend's looking like a rain out, which sucks for the people playing music here on Long Island. Anyway, Tammy Pescatelli will be with a lot of people from Gov's Radio today. She's performing Friday at Governor's in Levittown, the main room. I think today is the day she's on podcast, though. I think she'll be on with Tony Walker, Knock 'em Dead, right after this program today, and with Hershey and Keegs, Believe Tonight. No, she won't be with us, unfortunately. Hey, we're new here on Gov's Radio, and appreciate everybody tuning in so far, and people continue to support us on Mind Dog TV and Twitch and wherever the hell else you find us, YouTube, Facebook, and all that kind of stuff. We appreciate that very much. But looking forward to try to get some more of the comedians that are coming into Govs to appear on the program. This is a long-term project. It's not like I have a direct line to any of these comedians that are coming in, national people. But certainly trying to get in touch with, looking at the calendar of who's coming in and possibilities of who we might be able to get. So maybe we'll have that for you. Yesterday's program was pretty interesting with Andy Andrews. Of course, Andy's always always interesting to talk to, and good to follow up with to see how he's doing with his chemo and cancer recovery and all that kind of stuff. This Friday, I will be seeing Billy Wayne Davis in Brooklyn at a place called Littlefield. Never heard of Littlefield before until yesterday, and I don't think it was necessarily intended to be for comedy, but it looks like an outstanding comedy room. And the name is not something you would associate with in Littlefield. What's that all about? It seems like an arts a performance arts and kind of like a gallery space, but really looks like a tremendous room. Check it out, Littlefield, New York City, I believe. You just Google that, you'll find it on. And there's some pictures of the rooms and the performances there, and some great people coming in there. And I've never heard of it before, but Brooklyn is kind of funny that way. A lot of great things in Brooklyn. Brooklyn has had kind of a renaissance over the last, I want to say, 20 years, as a place where the arts are supported. Lots of filming going on, lots of video production studios down there, lots of audio production studios there, lots of artist suites and photography studios, and also um, performance groups, groups that are based out of there, taking performance art and theater and stuff like that out of Brooklyn. So interesting stuff there. Look at what is it? Gov's. I pulled up the wrong thing. I pulled up Gov's podcast. We know who's on Gov's podcast. I want to see Gov's. No, I want to see Governor's Comedy Club's show listing. What I want. A little bit slow this morning. Of course, with all the news and stuff that's been going on, and all the anger over the news, there's a lot of anger in the country right now, and so my social media is filled with a lot of really, really dark, negative stuff lately, and I got to admit, it's pretty depressing. Not having an outlet like sports to go to or something to take my attention away from all the anger and negativity. Not not uh not particularly good for my own psyche. So I asked people last night, post something happy, something uplifting, something funny, rather than all the meanness that we're seeing. And I understand the anger over some of the things that have been going on in the news, but at some point, gotta give it up for the day. John Mulrooney will be at Governor's on June 3rd, in the main room. That's an interesting one. Dom Herrera. Um, what else? Show some of the site here and see what we got. Share screen. So always. Definitely need an intern in here, and I am working on it. I know I sound like a broken record with that. Greatest comedians and the greatest. That's not it, is it? Is it Governor's Levittown? Here we are. I don't know. Punky Johnson will be there June 10th and June 11th in the main room. Eric Haft in the Giggle Room. Um, Terry McNeely, June 17th. Aaron Berg, a special event on June 17th and 18th in the main room. Drag Queen Summer Royale in the Giggle Room. That should be Drag Queen Summer Royale. And can't blow this up to see who's hosted by Olivia London, Frida Cox. Frida Cox. I just said that without even understanding what I was saying until I actually heard the words coming back through the headphones, and that made me giggle. No wonder it's in the Giggle Room. Irene Bremis, Rich Voss, a special event July 8th and 9th. That should be a good one. Psychic medium Robert Hansen. Huh? Well, we'll just have to see about that. I might have to go there to that one and cause some trouble. TJ Miller, um, July 15th and 16th. Yeah, if I'm gigging with the band, or I actually would go to see some of these. Um, Speaking of Hershey and Keegs, Mike Keegan will be there October 26th in the Giggle Room. August 26th. Man, I am a little. Carlos Mencia special event October 7th and 8th. Now that's an interesting occurrence. Carlos Mencia. I would like to get Mencia if I could. I'm going to work on getting him on the podcast. I know, not necessarily all that popular with our audience and a lot of controversy around him, but that should be an interesting one. Let's see if we can get Carlos Mencia on here. That should be a fun talk. Of course, can't get away from all the nonsense that's in the news and all that stuff. Comedian Sam Howe will be with us today at 10 a.m. Now, Sam is another one of these comedians that I found on Facebook or some social media through comedy groups I'm associated with, and then try to do some research on him, and he's got almost nothing online. So he's another man of mystery, which should be. Listen, it's interesting to talk to these guys, but it's always difficult to get into a conversation with a comedian you know absolutely nothing about, and that's where we're headed today. Um, of course, Kiera will be with me, and we had an actually probably the most the deepest conversation we've had since I've known her yesterday after the show. She's a little upset about mm, feeling like maybe she was stifled from giving her opinion on some of the things. On some of the conversations, especially when it comes to the issue of abortion and religion and all that kind of stuff. So maybe we'll we'll have to touch on that today. I know um, it's not a fun subject. It's not something I want to talk about. Certainly not fun when you see all the anger the news about the issue is causing on social media. Um, but it's important to let everybody have their voice. I want to make sure that if nothing else, this program is about letting everybody be free to speak their mind no matter what it is. If you recall, how long ago was that now that we had Prophet Dave the Prophet on? And Dave, uh, his premise, the reason for coming on was he wanted to prove the existence of God, put a heavy burden on yourself, prove beyond a in a court of law, beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond any doubt that God exists. And his sole method of doing that was from reading the Bible on a Saturday special edition of the Mind Dog TV podcast. Holy crap! But well attended. A lot of people came out. A lot of people came out um, to debunk, to argue, kind of be rough on him. I think it was probably about 3 or 4 months ago now, because I'm thinking there was a guy who was in the chat room who was desperate for help, or so he claimed to be. Might have been a scammer because uh, he was saying he couldn't get money for food or medicine, and so we took up a little collection for him and got him some money for food and medicine and money to get to doctors and or get the help he claimed he needed. And then it never stopped, like one email after another every day for weeks on end asking me for money. And so I finally had to, tell him, you know, we taught you to fish. Now it's up to you to get in the car and go to work and fish for yourself. Anyway, lot of interest in the religious discussion, even if a lot of the audience are hardcore atheists. Listen, religion can start more wars than politics, and they are somehow interwoven. But the discussion about religion can get people angry a lot quicker than even politics, and politics is a powder keg for discussion purposes. Um, so I wanted to give Dave a platform and a chance to speak his mind. Now, it came down to him feeling like I was beating up on him or punching down on him or just trying not to um, let him have his say about his proof of God. But listen, folks, you take that burden on yourself. It's an impossible feat. You're asking, if you believe in God, you believe He's omnipotent, 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 omnipotent. I'm gonna say it every way you can pronounce the word. Um, and He hasn't, with all His miraculous supernatural powers, had not sought to prove to the world his existence. Why would he put it on a mere mortal man with a high school education at best, and not very articulate guy, not very well read, except for the good book? put it on him to kind of be the Messiah, the prophet. I had to explain to Dave. I don't think you're. I don't think, my own personal opinion. I don't think you're the messenger. I don't think. I don't think you're up to this task. I think you've taken on a burden that is beyond anything you can even imagine, and maybe you should leave it to somebody more qualified. Of course, you would imagine how that kind of message would be received. Not happy with me, I'm the enemy, or all that. It is what it is. But when we're getting into this national debate about abortion, it all comes down to religion. And I'm not going to say here's the thing. I'm trying not to say that anymore. We're very quick to understand that in a part of the world that is dominated Muslim um, dominated countries where governments are based on the religion of Islam, Sharia law, and we're quick to condemn Sharia law. Well, we're looking at basically a Christian version of Sharia law being introduced in America, where um, the overturning of Roe v. Wade was just the first, and it hasn't officially happened, although we know it's going to happen any day now, any week now. It's just the first straw. The Republican Party, through Mitch McConnell, who is the leader of the Republicans in the Senate, has said that the plan is to ban abortion in the United States altogether, supposedly based on this belief of or this claim of being pro-life. But there's that claim is exposed, and I believed that up until last week, that the people who are proponents of banning abortion really believe that life starts at conception, that a human life is starts at conception, and that in their minds, ending that life is akin to murder. I believe that they were sincere in that belief. But then last week, with that decision being leaked and Alito's claim that we just need more American babies for adoption, that throws that whole baby out with the bathwater. That throws in that whole concept of it being about the right to life, and being protecting life. That's bullshit now. It's about adopting, having more domestic a domestic supply of babies. I'm not sure if that's the exact quote, but that's what they're looking for. That's the intent. It's not about protecting life. It's about having more American-born babies to adopt. Now, I have known many, many people over the last, I would say 35 years, who've adopted children from other countries. Great people who have cared for infants and raised them as their own, from people born in other countries. Great, and those children have, for the most part, have been some of the most productive, most upright citizens. I don't know. Had one on 2 weeks ago, Ronnie Rawback, comedian who is born in Guatemala, born with cerebral palsy. cerebral palsy. There's another one. Omnipotent cerebral. Um, uh, Trouble pronouncing words today. Cerebral or cerebral palsy. Born in Guatemala. His parents, white people from Michigan, adopted him. Ronnie, from what all I can tell, is a outstanding young man. I'm not on the page that it matters that babies for adoption be born in America. I think anybody who is looking to adopt, it doesn't matter where the baby was born. As long as you can give it all the love it needs and a strong foundation in life and a family and a foothold to in order to build a life on, then everything is fine in my opinion. It's all good. So the idea that we need more American-born babies, and I'm gonna have it's probably premature to even be talking about this. I'm just trying to give people a heads up. What's in store today? Not exactly the funniest show we're gonna have today. Uh, Yesterday was a lot of laughs. I enjoyed it, but because I want to give Kiara some leeway to speak her mind on this and really articulate her beliefs and how she feels about. Because I do think she feels a little stifled, and I don't want her to feel that way. I want her to feel absolutely free to express herself and give her comments and ideas about the subject. I didn't think she had much interest in getting into the political crap that's out there. Speaking of politics, and by the way, I'm going to be having some more. Speaking of politics, I'm going to write off of it. I'm going to be having a lot more musical guests on the morning show from MTS Records. It's been a while since we've had. Michael Stover has been very good to the Mind Dog TV podcast, the evening show, and you know what? I'm overloading the morning show with just comedy. Get some music on here. So lots of recording artists are now scheduling for the next, I'd say, month and a half, 2 months down the road. So looking forward to some of them I've had before on Mind Dog TV podcast, and some of them will be new to me. But all of them are outstanding artists. I've fans of all of them, um, and so looking forward to that. Now, on back to the politics just for a moment. OAN, the One American Network, finally admits to no widespread voter fraud. Uh, Basically, after really 2.5 years of just lying to people's faces about the election being stolen, finally admitting to their audience it was all a fucking lie. And how many people bought into it? How many people are still buying into it? It's like, oh, I forget what Mark Twain said about exactly what he said, but the truth, a lie makes it around the world before the truth even has a chance to put its shoes on. Something to that effect. Lies spread. Once those lies are spread and once they take hold, coming out and stating the truth, it's like that, retraction in the paper. They put on the front page whatever crime they will accuse you of, and then the retraction is somewhere buried in the middle, one line at the bottom of the newspaper. This is how the internet works and how cable television works. They blast for 2 years. The election was stolen. Election was stolen. Election was stolen. Now today they come out with, yeah, we kind of lied about that. We kind of lied about that. So nobody who needs to hear it is going to hear it. And when this is part of the big anger and division that's going on in America right now. And I know not all of our audience is American, so a lot of people don't give a shit about American politics. You should, because it means a lot to the world at large, no matter what you think about what's going on over here. It's part of. It's important to know how the rest of the world is going to deal with what's going on here. Um, Seeing that yesterday there was a Patreon exclusive for uh, the Issues with Andy podcast, include Henry Phillips. Henry Phillips has been on Mind Dog TV podcast a couple of times. Great guy. Um, and I don't know who else was in the somebody was local with Andy. I'm not sure who that was. I'm not sure. That's not Lipsky, is it? I don't know. I absolutely don't know. I will have to find out about that. But so that's available now on Issues with Andy Patreon. If you're a member, subscribe. If you're not a member, subscribe. If you're a member, it's you're already subscribed. You just go there and it's available now and ready for on demand. Today's program is brought to you by Cold Coffee. Anybody interested in the race, the Kentucky Derby race, and now we got Preakness coming up in a couple of weeks, the Triple Crown stuff. Um, I am either in a fog, which definitely be the case. Oh, speaking of being in a fog, Big T, THC TV will be back with me tomorrow. I believe that's tomorrow, is it? I gotta just see about this. Hold on. Big T tomorrow, yes, tomorrow. Um, Big T will be back with me tomorrow. Speaking of being in a fog, and I will talk to him about the race. Now, I I've been around horse racing all my life. I could have sworn, and maybe something changed, or maybe it didn't, but I could have sworn the Kentucky Derby was always run at 6 o'clock New York time, Eastern time. I don't even know if Kentucky is in the Eastern time zone. But this week it was run at 7 p.m. One of the most amazing finishes ever in horse racing. If you're not a horse racing fan, maybe you should be at least watch the replay of the race. There are like to me the Belmont Stakes in 1973 with Secretariat is the most amazing piece of horse racing footage of all time. But I think this definitely the film from the video, whatever you want to call it, from Saturday evening at 7 p.m. the Kentucky Derby this year. Uh, it ranks up there. It's definitely worth consideration. It's a astonishing athletic feat by a horse to come from so far behind with afterburners to take the race in the last minute. Not just coming from so far behind, but through such an enormous pack of horses out of nowhere to come back and win that race. Amazing piece of footage, and you should check it out. So, looking forward to the next two legs, and hopefully, well, not hopefully, I don't really have a stake in it, but possibly have a Triple Crown winner this year. Uh, so that will be an interesting thing. Today's show is brought to you by Cold Coffee. We missed yesterday in telling you folks about Cold Coffee, so I'm probably going to do it twice today. Cold Coffee, best coffee in America. Best coffee, according to Forbes, one of the top 10 coffees in the world. If according to me, it's the best coffee in the world. Best coffee I've ever drank. Just bar none. Really good stuff. Ah, delicioso. Anyway, uh, top 10 coffees rated by Forbes magazine and the best in the USA. Now, it is hand grown on the slopes of the Mauna Loa volcano in Hawaii and hand picked. And it's just amazing, amazing coffee. I think you should give it a try. I hope you'll give it a try. Cold coffee. I'm going to go get a fresh cup, see if I can do it in the time it takes to play the commercial, which is exactly 1 minute and 20 seconds. So I have 80 seconds to get the headphones off, get out of this room, go get coffee, and get back here in my seat with the headphones on and ready to resume the program for you, my lovely friends and audience. So here we go. Cold coffee ready. I'm getting ready to run, as you can see. I'm moving the chair back, getting ready to make the mad dash to get some cold coffee. Are you with me? Go get yours right now. This episode is brought to you by Koa Coffee. If you are a coffee connoisseur and want to experience the best coffee Hawaii has to offer, no blends, no compromise, try the true taste of aloha. Koa Coffee produces premium Hawaiian coffee, hand-picked, expertly roasted, and delivered from Hawaii to your door with aloha. From award-winning 100% Kona coffee grown on the slopes of the Mauna Loa volcano to the unique mocha beans of Maui, they strive to provide their loyal customers with the best quality and freshness. Since 1997, Koa Coffee has been known far and wide as a product of utmost quality, and their awards prove it. Koa Coffee was featured in Forbes' Top 10 Coffees of the World. This is the coffee Forbes called the best coffee in America. Find out what it's all about. Go to minddogtv.com/coffee. Oh no. Didn't happen. He didn't make it. You know what? Some days you make it, some days you don't. I wasn't really rushing. I thought I had more time than I did. Anyway, thanks for staying here with me. Um, so Kara should be here in a half hour or so. We're expecting Sam Ha at 10 a.m. My time, Eastern time. And again, Sam is a comedian I know almost zero about. Should be a weird conversation, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. I'm always interested in meeting comedians, but so little about him. I don't even know. I just know he's from California, which is very early for him, right, to be calling in, actually. I'm just looking at who's coming to the Bohemia location of McGuire's, which is the governor's comedy club, um, in the near future. Nobody that I recognize. Dom Herrera. Oh, John Mulrooney will be there again. So I guess they're making all of Long Island. Those two guys. Oh, Adam Ferrara. Special event July 8th and July 9th. So that's all that's listed that I can see there. And let's see the other Belmore location, which is the brokerage. Brendan Sagalow, Jamie Lizzow, Eric McMahon. Let me see the full event list here. I slide right over the all-star comedy shows because I don't know who's in them. I basically throw up a blank, not a blank, a generic. Oh, Chris Monty. Oh, Chris Monty, and Chris will be with us. There you go. Well, I love Chris. You know, Chris is a good friend of mine, and he will be here. He's going to be at the brokerage July 8th and 9th. I think he'll be with us on the 7th, if I'm not mistaken about that. So that's what's going on over there. Anyway, so just kind of on cruise control here. I will open up. Oh, did not mention the horse until it won during the. Wow, it didn't even mention the horse. That's interesting. I did not know that. What was the name of the horse again? Spike something. I don't even know the name of the horse. Let me see here. I'll see. I'm gonna look it up and see if I can actually share. Kentucky Derby. Da-do-do-bum-bum. Oh, Rich Strike. That's why Spike. I said. Here you go. Let me see if I can share this video. It's an incredible video, really. StreamYard, but backing over to. Good morning, William. I'm going to share your event in just one moment, too. I just want to tell people about that in a moment. But I just want to take a look at this Kentucky Derby one. Now, I probably get in some trouble for YouTube on this anyway. Uh, there it is. Rich Strike. Now, you can see where the horse is. This is Rich Strike. This is the horse that was going to be taking the lead and looking like it was going to win. Let's watch it and listen.
Zozos is next after 3/4 in 1 minute 10 and 4/5 seconds. And now Epicenter comes splitting horses and is moving up quickly as Crown Pride takes the lead around the far turn. It is Crown Pride battling with Messier. They're stride for stride. Epicenter and Zozos in behind them. Cybernex swings up to the outside. Sandon gets the rail run, and they're into the stretch. And it's Messier, Crown Pride, then Epicenter is coming up on the outside. Epicenter has taken the lead as they arrive into the final furlong. Sandon is coming after him. Epicenter and Sandon, these two, stride for stride. Simplification down the outside is next. They're coming down to the wire. Epicenter, Sandon, Rich Strike is coming up on the inside. Oh my goodness, the longest shot has won the Kentucky Derby. Zozos is next after 3/4.
All right, you can stop it there. Now, he did mention the horse right at the very end, uh, right before it won, but not quite like until it won. Interesting, kind of. But again, I think that comeback, it's up there with Secretary. It's not. Well, Secretary is still by far the number one. The Belmont Stakes in 1973, the number one highlight from horse racing ever. But it's definitely up there. Now I'm gonna our friend William Conway is he needs your votes, and I'm gonna ask people to get this stuff out. Now again, I got to go back to Twitter and find where I'm sharing this stuff. All my links are on Twitter for some reason, or everything I am sharing with people. Am I losing my freaking mind here today? This is what's going on. So let me just pull it up really quick. I can't do anything really quick. Forget about me. Every time I say really quick, just kind of laugh and just say, "What an idiot! He's not doing anything quick. He can't. He's incapable of doing anything quick." Um. Okay, where are you, William? Here you are. It's now the link is on my Twitter page. I don't know what the hell's going on. Wait. I want to play this, but excuse me, folks, for being such a whatever I am, dope, a dope this morning. Here you go. Let's see. I'm gonna make this full screen. See. Here we go.
Hey, what's up there, fans? William Conway here. Just want to take a second to invite you all to the West Texas Comic-Con, which is going to be kicking up dust in Lubbock, Texas, June 16th and 17th at the beautiful MCN Elegante Hotel. We got an amazing show lined up for you. 2 days of awesome events. We got some great meet and greets as well. You're going to be able to meet with comic book artists. You're going to be able to meet with award-winning cosplay actors. And we got some great voice actors for you as well. That's right. The voices of Peppermint Patty, Charlie Brown, and Lucy Van Pelt will all be on hand. You say that's not enough. We want more. Well, hang on. That's right. Kid Goku from Dragon Ball Z is going to be there. It's going to be an amazing time. That's still not enough. We got more for you. Johnny Huang is coming. He is the star of Michelangelo on the Vanilla Ice tour. He is one of the Ninja Turtles. He's bringing all the Ninja Turtles with him. You can get autographs. You can get photos. This is going to be an awesome time. The West Texas Comic-Con is where it's at. But let me tell you something. No con is complete without some wrestling Hall of Famers. Man, we got Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart coming. I hope he hits me with a megaphone. That's what I hope happens. That's what I want to see happen. Come on, Jimmy Hart. Hit me with that megaphone. I bet you won't. I bet you can't do it. And celebrating 35 years of destruction. We got Axe. We got Smash. We got Demolition. You got to come to the West Texas Comic Con. It's going to be the time of your life. Now, this is what I want to tell you. The West Texas Comic Con is not just any con. The West Texas Comic Con is a con with a purpose. And that purpose is promoting suicide awareness. It's a completely preventable thing, and we want to help axe that out. And you can help us get your tickets now. Go to WTComicCon.com. West Texas Comic Con is a con with a purpose. That's WTComicCon.com to get your tickets now.
Well, that seems like a pretty cool thing. Now, I have a couple of questions there. First of all, the YouTube link is on my social media. It's on my Facebook and my Twitter, and it will be in the description of this program when today is done. It's scrolling across the bottom there. You need to go there to the YouTube page and like that to vote for William to help him out. It will be helping him out in for the Comic-Con. Please go there. Just like the video. It's very simple to do. So the link is scrolling across in the bottom right now. You don't need that 1 second thing that's at the end of that. I could probably cut that off. Hold on 1 second here. 1 second, I'll fix the 1 second thing. Hide it. And then take out NT equals. We're having a sloppy morning here. I'm having a sloppy time, but it is what it is. It's Tuesday morning, a little anticlimactic start, second day of the week, whatever. So there's the link. It's cleaned up for you. Go there, like the video, give William a little boost there. Now he said Michelangelo, Ninja Turtles. That's Robbie Wrist. I'm not sure if I heard Robbie Wrist's name. Sound like he said somebody else was going to be there as Michelangelo. But the Michelangelo character from Ninja Turtles was Robbie Wrist, who I've had on my program. Robbie Wrist was cousin Oliver from the Brady Bunch. In the last couple of years of the Brady Bunch series, played cousin Oliver. He's also been he's a voiceover actor and in so many different stuff, and he's part of a lot of Comic-Con, but it doesn't sound like William named Robbie Wrist as the guy that was going to be there. Anyway, I'm going to have to go back and listen again. He's mentioned a lot of names there pretty quickly, and I didn't catch them all, but it didn't sound like I said Robbie Wrist. So that's that. While we're waiting for Kiara to come in and the rest of the world to wake up, I feel like playing a little music. I think I'm going to play. I don't know what will we play. Let's see. How about if we go with a little this? Well, I'm probably going to get in trouble if I play that. I get in trouble for playing my own copyrights. I'm going to go with a song that I wrote and Janet Spallone recorded. It's a short one. It's called Still in Love with You. It's kind of, Janet is going to be at Sony Hall this weekend with a night of 1,000 Stevies, paying tribute to Stevie Nicks. And how many Stevie Nicks tribute bands and female singers in America have been influenced by Stevie Nicks. Janet is a featured performer at the Night of 1,000 Stevies. Gold Dust Woman is her band, and Gold Dust Woman band, and they're the only one that's actually endorsed by Stevie Nicks. So this song is kind of in the vein of Landslide and kind of very much inspired by that. But it's an original song I had written for Janet to sing. It's called Still in Love with You. Here's the video for that and the song itself. So I hope you enjoy it.
Saw your photograph today. Had to put it all away. You know it left me feeling blue. I guess I'm still in love with you. When I see you out around, it turns my whole world upside down. You know I can't deny it's true that I'm still in love with you. Well, I don't think about you anymore. I could have sworn I closed that door, and then I see you again. After all the time gone by, well, I can't find a reason why it could possibly be true, well, that I'm still in love with you. Guess I can't deny it's true, that I'm still in love with you.
Interesting moments there for me. You know what? I kind of miss playing at Cedar Beach. You saw there were some shots in there. What's for the Vanilla Ice tour? Oh, I'm sorry, William. You got me a little confused there. What's for the Vanilla Ice tour? I know you mentioned the Vanilla Ice tour in the video for Comic-Con, West Texas Comic-Con, but I don't remember what that was about. So I'm a little slow this morning. Still, you know what? It would be ideal for a morning radio guy to be awake and full of energy for a morning show. Not always the case. Certainly not the case today. That video for Still in Love with You had some images there from when we used to play Cedar Beach. Now, this is kind of a contrived story that might not be of the biggest interest to everybody, but the Rockin' 45s for years played Cedar Beach in Babylon, New York. It's in Ocean Beach, beautiful beach, and every night of the week they would have volleyball there. Volleyball tournaments, and 8,000, 10,000 people would come just for the volleyball alone. Now we would be playing up by the concession for the beach, and there would be a few thousand people up there for the beginning of the show. And then when it got dark, when darkness hit, the volleyball players couldn't, there's no lights on the beach, so basically volleyball is done by that time. So all those people playing volleyball would come through and be where the band is, and many of them would stay and party with us. So those were some great times. For reasons I don't want to get into, legal stuff, the guy who was our good friend who booked us there so often, probably 15 times a summer, he was forced to give up the contract for that venue. And some politicians, some people who own other venues and started to monopolize the scene on the South Shore of Long Island, took over and kind of squeezed us out for bands that were friends of theirs. And we haven't been back since. I kind of miss that. And seeing the volleyball players back in the background there kind of got me a little nostalgic for some of the really great times we had there. I also see there's a couple of shots with our friend photographer Alonzo in there, who was a photographer for the band who did some great work for us. And miss him. Haven't seen him in a long time. Um, there's a lot of stuff in there to get to me. Kind of a little nostalgic there. Anyway, I'm waiting on Kira to come join us in about 10 minutes or so. I'm reading some of the stuff from the last right stuff. Oh, I guess we're going to have another last rights podcast. Oh, Dyson, man, I'm sorry. I got it wrong. I'm gonna go back to bed. I'm gonna wake up and start this day over. Dyson, man, have a new episode coming up. 1800 GMT. This is Greenwich Meridian time. 1800 would be 6 p.m. their time, or is that 1 p.m. Eastern time? Fucking time zones, man. Time zones are going to be the death of all of us. Anyway, Bink, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Good morning, Carl. How are things in Paradise? Are you a little hungover today? I know you had a podcast yesterday, and it seemed like you might be on your way. On your way. I was kind of expecting you might be a little hungover, but maybe not. I've been wrong before. Seems like you're living the life of Riley, and why not? If I were in paradise, I would be living it up too. I'm not sure what Bink means. I'm trying to figure that out. Anyway, we're probably going to have a little church here this morning. Looks like we're going to have a little church. Are you ready for some church? I'm not. You know what? I'm really not up for it this morning. I'm not. With everything that's going on in politics, I think to add religion on top of that stuff, it's not a fun conversation, not something I'm really uh, looking forward to. But I think, again, I'm going to say this one more time, is I don't want to feel like anybody is not free to express themselves on this program, whether they're guests, whether they're in the chat room, whether, they are co-hosts or participants in the program. Anybody is free to express any opinions, ideas, or any of that kind of stuff that they might have. And I want to make sure that we keep that openness and open spirit to just trying to include everybody and being open to everybody's ideas. So I had 2 beers in the pod, just 2 beers, but didn't you start drinking early? Maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought maybe you were drinking early when you were on early with me and Andy and what was that other fella? The Welsh fella. His name escapes me at the moment. Some young Welsh comic who I guess Carl hangs out with, or kind of follows Carl around like his little puppy dog. That guy. And then Alete Mojita in Paradise. I don't even know what Alete Mojito. I know what a mojito is, but Alati, drink 9 cups of coffee on the end. Oh, so you were needing needing a little, I don't know what you call it, a little something to take the edge off the coffee buzz you must have had after 9 cups of Koa coffee. We know you're a Koa coffee drinker, and you love your Koa coffee, and we appreciate you patronizing our Koa coffee sponsor. Anyway, so that apparently something either Andy or I said yesterday on the podcast upset Kiara in a way, because and people don't know this. They should know this by now, that Kiara is a born again Christian. I don't think she's a churchgoer in that sense, but uh, is Christian in her values and beliefs, and I think some of the stuff that we said, m- basically in political discussion about what's going on in America. Of course, all that stuff does cross the line in religion, and so what something that either I said or Andy said upset her. We had a conversation about it yesterday, but I think it's fair to bring it to the table on the program so that she doesn't feel like, number one, that I'm trying to stifle anything that she has to say. I want her to feel completely uninhibited in sharing her views and opinions on this stuff. Whether um, that takes root with anybody or it's well accepted, that's up to you folks, not up to me. It is what it is. And then at 10 p.m., 10 p.m. Yeah, I'm not going to be here at 10 p.m. Actually, tonight I have a program on the Mind Dog TV podcast, speaking of politics, about the decline of America. And it's The Decline of America is a book, and it's written by Dr. David D. Shine, who's, he's got more degrees. He's got more letters after his name than convicts have numbers after their name. MBA, JD, PhD, and a whole assortment of others. He's written a book called The Decline of America, and it's an objective look at every presidency from Washington to Obama. Now, I'm guessing the only reason he stopped at Obama was because of time constraints. I mean, the time it takes to write a book. Because why not continue it right through Trump and now up to Biden at this point? So I'll ask him about that. But it should be a very interesting um discussion, conversation about how we got to where we are today in America. And from, again, this is, I believe, he's not Democrat or Republican. He's going to be presenting the thoughts and concepts from his book in as an objective way as possible. Again, whenever you're talking about presidential politics from Washington right up to the Obama era, there's no way to keep it completely objective, and so that it's not going to make some people angry, because especially when you start getting into the latter 20th century and into the 21st century here, people just align with parties as cheerleaders, being completely emotional and taking everything personal whenever you talk about anything politics. Well, you're going to talk about my president, you're going to talk about my party, and it's, it's us against them. So difficult conversations always to have, but I'm looking forward to that. That's at 8 p.m. tonight on the Mind Dog TV podcast. I hope you'll join me then. Kiara's with us now. Let's bring her in. It's time for let's get happy. Want to get happy? I posted something last night on Twitter and Facebook. I said, just sick of all the vitriol and people just, and not, sometimes it's not even people arguing about stuff. It's just people expressing their anger about stuff, and there's so much of it. I started to feel a little depressed. I won't lie about it. I was feeling pretty sad and more than just a little depressed last night. Um, And so I asked people to post something happy. I got like 5 people playing along to post something happy. That's not enough, folks. Look for something happy. It will make you feel better to make me feel better. Find something happy and post it on either my Twitter or Facebook. Find that post where I ask for happy stuff and cooperate, play along. Yeah, I promise you, in just finding something happy to talk about, you'll make yourself feel a little better. I promise you that will work. And if it doesn't, you can hold me accountable and I'll give you your money back. How about that? Time for the happy minute. Let's get happy. I'm happy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Something just flashed in front of your face when I don't know what that was.
What was it?
I don't know, some message from somebody who wants to sell me something, probably, or some kind of crap. It's always one thing after another. Invasive internet technologies trying to take over my world and tell me what I need to know about and all that kind of stuff. Good morning. How you feeling today?
Oh my gosh, I'm okay.
What was that about? Oh my God.
I did not sleep. I had a wild night, and I don't mean in any fun way. It was wild.
Baby problems?
No.
No, just
No.
up. Oh. Well, I
Oh
didn't
my
sleep.
gosh.
If it matters for anything, I didn't sleep either. I'm very tired. I'm not feeling very happy. All the crap that's going on, and you know what? I think yesterday I mentioned this there earlier. And you weren't with us, but I mentioned that yesterday we had probably the most significant conversation we've had since I've known you.
Oh yeah. You and I. Yes. I liked our conversation.
Yeah, well, it's just interesting. It took us 4 years to have which is kind of what my book is about. How people who I interact with almost, most in my life, I almost never have any real conversations. It's all small talk and crap that means nothing.
I hate small talk.
I know, me too. Well, as a person who's been told I have Asperger's, I'm not sure I subscribe to that diagnosis, but
right.
People talk that about me. Oh, he's one of these antisocial people. I'm perceived as being rude a lot of times because I really don't have a lot of, patience or love for small talk at all. I like deep conversations, which is why I do what I do. Right. But we don't have any. That was the only one. We've had one, and that was yesterday on the phone for a little bit.
Yes, I was very surprised. Did you tell everybody why?
No, I just said that, you were upset by some of the discussion that Andy and I were having about the current state of politics, which especially around the abortion issue and how it deals with faith and issues of faith and all that kind of stuff, and how it kind of, and, if you want to elaborate on that. But basically, I think what we're seeing in America right now is that this idea of faith being used, or claims of faith being used to further political agenda. Politics and religion are both powder keg discussion topics. They're going to start a fight no matter what. But when you mix them together, it becomes like a nuclear bomb. It's really, and it can hurt people's feelings, people's sensitivities, and all that stuff. We have to get past that and be able to have discussions about it without getting angry about it.
Right.
And it's difficult, though.
That's what I appreciated yesterday, because I know that we have different views on some things, and I think my purpose here on the show is to bring light and make people laugh or whatever. So I don't really like to get into it, but yesterday I feel like I was pretty taken aback by a lot of things Andy was saying. He basically called, I mean, I don't like to put a label on myself either, and I think that's, but the right wing was, uneducated, trailer trash. And I have a lot of, I lean towards conservative views. And I was like, wait a minute. No, I'm not, I don't live in a trail, but I understand that's the way he talks. And I didn't, I didn't take it personally, but I did want to stand my ground at one point and say, wait a minute, just because I have these views doesn't mean I'm an educated POS,
Well, I think you missed an opportunity to kind of have that discussion yesterday.
There were four faces,
Yeah, and probably felt like all four of us are lined up against you on that. I mean, I know Jamie is an atheist. I know that. Carl, I don't know. Carl, I think, is an open-minded inquisitor. He wants to know about everything. I know Jamie is a pretty close-minded atheist. Andy, I would classify as a wounded atheist. And myself, you know what? There's a time not that long ago when people considered me a far right winger. I know that right now, I think Donald Trump kind of definitely pushed me more towards the center on that kind of stuff. There, on terms of what's going on now.
Right. Sorry.
I believed up until last week, I believed completely that for the argument on abortion, I believe that right-wing people believed sincerely that this was about right to life, that they have this belief that life starts at conception and ending that life at any point is tantamount to murder. I believe that until I saw what Alito wrote in the opinion last week, which contradicts that completely. And they basically came out and said that what it's really about is having more American babies to adopt. That's what the line says. We need to end abortion to increase the supply of domestic adoptions. So in other words, they want American-born babies for adoption is the goal. It's not about saving lives. It's not about cherishing lives.
Who wrote that?
Judge Alito, who's the majority opinion on the Supreme Court, Justice Alito. So that's the Supreme Court's position, is that it's not about protecting life. So, the people who have been saying that and are behind this are not really being honest when that's the agenda. It's just to make it a more American-born babies. Now, I have known people, and I said this morning, I've known people who traveled the world to go get their baby, adopted a baby. It didn't matter where the baby was born. They gave it love. They gave it a foundation, a good, strong family. And we had one on just 2 weeks ago, Ronnie Rohrback, who was Guatemalan born, cerebral palsy. His parents were a white couple from Michigan, adopted him, gave him a life, gave him a foundation to stand on. He became an outstanding member of society and probably a good person. I don't think it matters where a baby is born.
People who can't have children would do anything, adopt any child. I actually, in our family, we have 3 adopted nieces and nephews, and we love them to death, and they're from all different ethnicities, all different. It's beautiful, and I don't support the agenda of making it a racial issue. I really don't. I do agree with what you said in the beginning, that it's life at conception. It's a beautiful little baby.
Well, I would agree with that. And people, I've been told, and it wasn't this way in the past. Only in the last 20 years, I've been told by women that because I don't have a uterus, I have no right to an opinion on the subject of abortion. I don't think that necessarily has any weight at all, because abortion, from my perspective, is more than just about giving birth or not giving birth. It's about the sanctity of life and what we think about it, and it has some psychic residue. No matter, because I've known many people who've had abortions, many women who've had abortions.
Me as well.
Scarred for life. Yeah.
Yes, I know too, and I know that a lot of people are using it more like contraception, and they're not thinking about it. But I
don't know that to be true. I've heard that, and I knew one. I have to say, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I knew one girl when I was very young, in my 20s, who had 4 abortions, and it definitely seemed like she was using that in place of contraception, because it was after one, you think you'd learn your lesson and not just get pregnant that easy,
Yeah.
But I don't know that that's necessarily as widespread as it's claimed. But I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I lost my train. I had an idea.
Well, you're saying some.
If you, because I've known people and I've tried to, talk them out of it and help them and support them, and they wound up doing it, and they just, like you said, they were scarred for life. They're never the same person. And I think if you really educate yourself, watch the sonograms, of the baby screaming in pain as he gets ripped apart, trying to avoid the tweezers as they're getting him because he's hiding from it. He knows what's coming. It's terrible. And
Right.
I think that every woman, not every woman, but most women that go through it realize that at the end. But it's okay. I'm still friends with her. It's not like I've shunned her.
Right.
We live and we learn, and we're all not perfect, and we all have to take it day by day. But
Right.
I think that a lot of it's education, a lot of it's, and this is what my last night, oh my goodness gracious, I wish I could get into it.
Wow.
My goodness. Just support from your parents, support from friends, support from families is probably what would help a lot of women who are pregnant a lot of women. I'm telling you right now, if we all helped our fellow daughters and sons through their pregnancy, unexpected or not, I'm pretty sure that women wouldn't feel afraid and alone and thinking that's their only option. I mean, to be honest, at one point, I had thought I had no other option as well. I was very scared and alone with my first pregnancy. And
that is a great point. I mean, I don't know. I haven't had that discussion with any women because that's a tough discussion to have. I mean, because it always comes down to about not my body, but I think there is a lot of that scared. I'm scared to have this child. I don't want to bring another child into a world that, especially if I'm a person who has absolutely no faith, and I look at the darkness of this world and I say, but so there's that part of it, but we never really talk about the things that goes through a woman. And this is why they say, not being a woman, I have no place in the discussion, is because I can't understand that aspect of it, the process of it. But another thing you might not know about me, I've participated in 4,000 plus infant, fetus, stillborn, miscarriage, autopsies of babies. I was in pathology for one of my careers was in pathology.
Oh my God! What is this? Every day is a surprise.
Yeah.
Wow.
So every day I saw babies from fetal from fetuses that were 4 weeks old or 2 weeks old in some cases to babies that were just born and died stillbirth, or babies that were aborted in some cases for medical abortions to save the mother's life, or babies that have died at stillbirths or miscarriages and all this kinds of. And every time, this is something that people need. I think people need to experience. It's hard and dark, and it haunts me to this day. It's the experience of they take the baby out of the bag, the infant out of the bag, the fetus out of the bag, put it on the table, and I ask, how old? And a doctor who's, people who've gone to medical school for this, they say, I don't know, I have to look at the chart. And so you can't tell a fetus from a baby. Even if you went to school for 8 years to learn the difference, you still have to look at the chart and say, no, this was a stillborn. This was a miscarriage. This was an abortion.
Wait, you're gonna make me cry. Stop. It's so sad.
So that perspective gives me a whole different view on whether where life actually begins. So we can have that conversation. So that gave me a position of not being pro-abortion.
Right.
But just because I'm not pro-abortion doesn't
Right.
mean that I'm anti-women's rights. And I do agree that it should be the woman's decision to be made. And I come back to, if you're a Christian, you have to ask yourself, and I don't think any Christians I talk to in the world today ask themselves this question: what would Jesus do? You think
Right.
you think
Right.
Jesus would want to put that mother in jail and leave
Right.
that baby force a baby to be born and leave the mother in jail so it's away from its natural mother? You think that would be Jesus'
Right.
first decision to make?
I
No.
think a lot of Christians have to ask themselves that in every situation. It becomes hypocritical at points, based on my experiences, when you're, and it hurts, to see people preach the gospel and and then, oh my goodness, I'm so blown away by that story.
You didn't know I was in pathology.
No, I didn't know you were in pathology. Wow.
I've had a lot of careers.
No, but those, like Jesus said, those who have not sinned to cast the first stone, and no one could. Everyone has different issues. Everyone has different walks of life. Everyone is going through something. Everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
And, the only one who was sin-free and walked a sin-free life was Jesus. And we always point fingers and scream at each other, like you were saying. It's right, it's left, it's this, it's that. And we don't stop to really comfort each other, help each other, bring light to each other, educate each other. And it's hard. It's really hard at times.
So the bottom line here, when you look at this situation, how can you have hope for us as a society to not be always angry at each other over this issue? I mean, is there any way we can have a compromise that will work for it?
I have an answer. We all need Jesus. It's true. I think that we used to have, this country was founded on God, right? The Constitution, everything was made from a religious, God-centered standpoint. I think people have gravitated so far away there, and I think that people are more self-centered, more selfish, and we see that in today's society. The amount of selfies, I'm guilty to taking, and instead of taking in a moment, the next big thing, TVs, all material things. We're all focused on, self-centered lifestyles. We're not helping each other. We're not helping our neighbor, loving our neighbor, spreading light and joy, and carrying each other's burdens. And I think that we need to get back to a real Christ-centered life, and not a hypocritical, well, you're a bad person because you've done this, and you're a bad person, but I'm perfect. I have a lot of experience with that.
The problem with that is, first of all, there are people who don't want any part of Jesus. Okay, then and you have to respect that, because we were founded on freedom of religion, meaning you can't force anything on anybody.
Right.
So, but enable us to get along, there has to be some basis for having civilized conversation without getting mad at people. And the solution for that is nowhere to be seen, because we do, I kind of alluded to this, we've lost the ability to look at the issue, because and here's part of the problem when it comes to abortion. We're looking at abortion as the problem. Abortion's not the problem. Abortion is some people's solution to a problem.
Right.
The problem being unwanted pregnancy.
Right.
And how do we minimize the number of unwanted pregnancies? We're never going to have stop kids or young people from having sex or getting pregnant. That's just an impossible thing to do.
Right.
But how do we minimize that so that the toll on society and the psychic damage that we do with all of this stuff is put to a minimum? To me, the solutions for that and we don't talk about the solutions. We just want to talk about the problems. The solutions come with educating your children about the consequences and responsibility of parenthood, and there's a big part of that now. We can say we don't want the schools to do that, but a lot of parents are neglecting doing that. So whose job is it once they become neglecting that, right? So that's a difficult thing. We don't want the schools doing it, but have you had that talk with your kid? I don't want to have that talk with my kid. So that's a hypocritical part of it. And then contraceptive, the same people who want to ban abortions want to ban contraceptives and birth control. It's like that's kind of shooting yourself in the foot. That means we're going to be constantly at. So what I'm getting at here is I don't have a lot of hope for us as a society being able to get past this. Like at some point we may have to split America in half and say you people are for it, live over there, and you people are against it, live over here. And
yeah. I mean, it's kind of split with the red and blue. I'm like you. I do have to agree. I'm not red and I'm not blue. I think it's all smoke and mirrors. I heard you yesterday saying it's all Illuminati anyway, which I agree with.
I'm not Illuminati. Did I say I was being funny about that? But no, it's all money. Yeah. It's all money, corporate money that buys the politicians.
Yeah. And it's all like what, two or three families that own basically everything. And they own the parties both right and left. And so I mean, but you can go to different states that are more conservative, which I would love to, but I can't. I'm stuck in New York, so I got to make it. But I think that social media and this new technological age has a lot to do with just everybody's whiny, everybody's instant whiners. They go on and they fight each other online, and they're looking for the next topic they love it. They crave it. They crave the next topic to argue with each other and have something in their lives to stand for. And it's all instant. And I always talk about this. What happened when we had a fight at work or something happened at work and we couldn't tell anybody until we got home from dinner, right? Because we didn't have cell phones and we didn't have a way to communicate. And then by the time we got home, the problem in our minds was resolved. We were over it. We didn't even want to talk about it. And, we kind of it fizzled out. People don't let things fizzle out anymore. People get angry and they instantly tweet about it, and that's our problem. We're all angry. We're all, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and again, last night I posted on Facebook and Twitter just to try to, and every day I put like stupid like cat and puppy videos and all that kind of stuff just to try to keep my timeline having something happy on it. And I just asked all my friends, I'm in a bad, because somebody I know was just not arguing with anybody, just expressing her anger on Twitter, how frustrated she is with everything. And it was really bringing me down. I just said, please, somebody share something happy. And I got like 2 or 3 people who played along, but it's just like, why are people so reluctant just to kind of, I don't know, share something uplifting or happy with other people instead of always, express. I understand we all feel the frustrations of the world, but at some point you have to, put a smile on and say, you know what, the moment, live for the moment, not for tomorrow.
Yeah.
If I can just on this abortion issue that everybody is so angry about on either side of this thing, I think we are afraid to say, give it time. Today, it's not something that needs to be solved in this moment today. We could take a generation. It could take 2 generations. Life goes by and like that, and the world changes. Right. So don't look for instant change today. We want to see we want to see the world we want today. Right. Have some patience and look for a long-term plan. I don't think anybody is looking at long-term plans.
And it starts with one small act of kindness a day. just one small act of kindness to someone you don't know, someone you know, and it it ripples, it changes, and
You know where I lose faith in that, because I've practiced that for many years now,
yeah,
and I've whenever I do that, because I'm coming at it from maybe an impure place and thing, because I'm looking at it at the end of the day and saying, how did that come back to me? So in other words, I'll give you a specific example. Somebody I know who was dealing with some major problem. Now, I wasn't doing great at the time. I left my job and was struggling with a podcast just to get by for making my own
right.
ends meet. And somebody I knew was hungry without medicine, and I think I had $150 in the bank, and I sent her $100, and basically, and then 2 weeks later, I was like way behind in my bills, and I said, you know what? I do a lot of good, a lot of stuff. How come none of it ever comes back to me? And that's an impure place to be, because
Right.
I caught myself in thinking, did you do it for yourself, or
Right.
were you freely giving? In the moment, I was really concerned about her, but 2 weeks later, when crunch hit me, I was like, you know what? Nobody ever does that for me.
Yeah,
So
I've been there too. And I have, we believe as Christians that even if nobody sees it, God sees it, and you'll be rewarded.
that's where
Maybe not in this lifetime, but
that's where it
and it's
becomes.
hard. It's hard.
It doesn't. It doesn't seem that way, and I don't even want, because if I talk about some of the things I've done, it'll sound like virtue signaling. But I know if I really take a step back, I got a lot to make up for. So maybe that, I do. I do.
Don't we all? Don't we all? We all have.
I
I
don't
mean,
know. I don't live
I
everybody
think
else's
so.
life. I just know my life, and I know
Yeah.
I have regrets about some of my behavior when I was younger, and I do feel like I have a lot. I talked to you about this a little bit
Right.
with my ex-wife. I'm still paying the price for being an immature, not ready to be a father and husband. Still paying the price psychically for my own
Right.
shortcomings
Right.
in that, and still full of regret for that. Now, I know I need to forgive myself for being a
Yes.
young person and being uneducated about it, and being slow to grow up,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean I'm off the hook for paying for it. I still have that bill to pay.
We were all young and stupid. If we were all, to be old and wise, first you have to be young and stupid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, a lot goes on when
Yeah.
you're transitioning from being a teenager to an adult to, I mean, nobody has the answers, and
Yeah.
we're all products of our parents at one point, and it's up to us to turn it around and try and break the cycle. I'm going through it right now, and
Yeah.
I was gonna say because the baby started crying.
So you were.
The child is crying. Hello. Hello. He doesn't hear me. I can't get up. I
Right.
did like the business on. Oh, okay, he's gone. The business on the top, and like, I can't get up and expose myself. You got the baby.
Oh, well, you can always turn your camera off if you need to. So, do you have some happy news for us?
Yes,
This is your purpose in life.
my purpose. Okay. This one I thought, because we talked about the TSA. My cat is tearing. Olive, she's tearing up my couch.
Olive.
Okay. So this was because I found this article and I saved it because we talked about how I always get not pulled over, randomly selected in the airport because I look like,
Right.
I'm gonna bomb a plane.
I think
Take a
I
plane
look
down.
a lot more like a terrorist than you do, but go ahead.
So this man, according to wavy.com, caught at TSA checkpoint with 23 weapons in his carry-on. Okay. And they stopped me for breast milk. This is why they should not be focusing on me each time. Maybe this is what it says. Maybe he's not the sharpest tool in the box, A traveler passing through a security checkpoint at Reagan National Airport in Virginia was cited for trying to bring 23 prohibited items, mostly knives, in his carry-on bag. But this is, he was stopped on, oh, this is a little old, Wednesday, May 4th, after an x-ray of his bag revealed 9 disposable scalpels, 8 folding blade knives, 3 throwing knives, a dagger, a switchblade, and brass knuckles.
Brass knuckles.
And I had breast milk, tattered clothes, and chew toys, teething toys. And I was pulled to the side, and I kept beeping, and I had to remove more and more things. And meanwhile, this guy is just, going by with all his murder weapons.
Murder weapons. Wow. Yeah, and I don't know how that still happens in today's day and age. You would think just
wouldn't you think you can't get by? Hello? I don't know. What do I know?
That the weird thing to me is the liquids. And I don't know, I haven't been on a plane. This is how long I haven't been on a plane. I don't know if they're still doing that, but the liquids thing is always
boggles my mind.
But not only they take this stuff and that they say, well, it could be explosives or what, we don't know, and they put it in a can right next to where they're standing.
Yeah. Right.
If it was dangerous, you wouldn't put it right here.
Right.
If you really thought it might blow up, you're not going to put it.
I even tried to drink a water bottle in front of the guy one time. He was like, "You can't bring." I said, "Wait, look, it's not poison. Look," and I'm drinking, and the guy was just like, they're so nasty too. They hate their jobs. Wow. They don't laugh. You try to make them laugh. You try. At one point, the guy said I wasn't like putting my shoes on fast enough, and I was holding up the conveyor belt to stuff, and I'm
wow.
Making faces, and I'm trying to put my shoe on faster, and he just he stood there like he wasn't amused. Come on, keep it moving.
I think I'd probably be the same way. I that's a miserable place to be. I would
I don't know, find another job. Like Mikey, I don't know if slip-on shoes.
Yeah. But again, if you're not happy, you can quit. I mean, but I definitely would be a miserable person if that were my if I had to do that 40 hours or more a week every day, just go drive to the airport and be miserable on the way there, be miserable on the way home. I did a video on that for my past job in the corporate world, where I was driving to work and I was just explaining what I go through every day. Was basically getting up to my wife being angry at my grandson, and they're screaming at each other. And my whole goal is just to get into the car so I could get in traffic for 2.5 hours to drive to Farmingdale in traffic to get myself aggravated. So I get to an office to a job I hate for 8 hours a day, then get back in the car and get back in traffic for 2.5 hours, walk into the house, and my wife and the grandson are still arguing and yelling at each other. God. Like, that was my day every day, 6 days a week. It's like, no.
6 days. Oh my, we talked about this yesterday. I would do anything not to go back to a desk job. I mean, I would sell my feet online, and I think pictures of my feet, not my real feet. And I think that we're all in these predicaments, and that's a whole nother issue. I mean, it's we're basically like worker bees for the man, the bigger man,
making somebody else rich.
Yeah, making somebody else rich. And my job with Mikey at Luxor, I told you yesterday, was a collections agency at the nursing home. So calling the elderly and trying to justify that they owed Luxor, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and and trying to get people on Medicaid, so trying to work with them to give up their houses and their pensions and their everything they worked for, so they could come live in Luxor. And I hated it. I hated it. And people are crying, well, my mother worked so hard to get her house, my mother worked so hard to get her pension, she finally is on Social Security. And, well, if you live in Luxor, it all comes to Luxor. They own you. They own every bit of your income. That's why if you put everything in a trust, people.
Yeah. I'm going to let you go, but I will say this, and this is a discussion for probably a Mind Dog TV podcast at night, but I did not get along. I had a lot of problems with my mother in my life. I ran away from home and all that stuff. But when it came to end of life, I would not put her in a nursing home. She did hospice in my house and
Wow.
died here. And
Wow.
I think that we lose that there is a comfort in dying at home, in making a
Yes.
comfortable space, making a peaceful place for passing.
Yes.
And I think too many people, and again, this is a discussion for another time,
Right.
but I think too many people are afraid to face that reality of, you know what, the people who brought you into life, they
Yes.
deserve an easy out, and don't just put them where it's convenient for you, and end up
Yes.
on the bill where Kiera's going to be calling you and saying, "Where's my money?"
No, I hated it. I hated it so much. I'm so glad. I mean, I loved my residents, and I wish I could have been in a different department, like recreation or something. But I will say that all of them, yeah, probably all of them, cried that they wanted to go home. Cried because they knew they were
Yeah,
abandoned. Even the dementia patients who don't know what's going on would start weeping,
yeah,
and they just have these spells in the middle of the hallway, just weeping spell. It's terrible. It's terrible.
I know.
It was such a terrible place.
I
But
know we have somebody who runs a nursing home listening, and he's probably saying, "Well, that's my business. Totally, that's just
yeah,
it."
yeah, yeah. I mean, I love Mike and I love Luxor, and we tried the best that we could as employees to lift up the residents because they have no say. They're just dropped there. So, you know,
Yeah,
you try and make them smile and go to their rooms and visit them, and even a visit from a complete stranger, they're so happy. They just,
yeah.
but it's terrible.
All right, I'm going to let you go. I'm sorry to keep you so long. Sam Ha is with us now. I'm going to be bringing him in a second. So we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Not one of the most uplifting and happy Tuesday programs we've ever had. Some days are just like that. Not so much to laugh about today. Hopefully that will improve right now. Sam Ha is a comedian who I know almost nothing about. I know he's got a Facebook page. He doesn't really post a whole lot to it. There is the address on the bottom. It's also in the description. You can click on. So I don't think you're going to find out a lot about Sam that way. The only way we're really going to find out about him and where he's pursuing his comedy career is right here, right now, from the horse's mouth, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Sam. Sam,
Oh,
yeah, your mic was
yeah.
muted. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Yeah.
Nice to
Thank you.
meet you.
Thank you,
So,
man. Thank you.
so you're like incognito. You're not. There's no information on you on the web at all. It's like
Yeah.
you're a man of mystery. Why?
Yeah. Yeah. Have a lot. I have a surprise. I want to make like people like real happy. That's my goal, is to like show the reality on me. But it's gonna be process. I work on myself because um, yeah, little about me. I'm 39 years old and I grew up in Iran, but now I'm here about 5 years in America. I love the comedy when I was young and child. And my mother started me and told me that's when you want to be a joker in front of people, you have to stop this down. And then I saw maybe there's something bad I'm doing, and then I got stop it. That's hurt me until I find myself. Oh, there's happiness, a real happiness in me, and fortunately, I find it here in America. So real people work on themselves and they show the reality happiness. I start learning about this thing specifically. Um, I love people. I love to make him happy and laugh, and also I wanna be happy. Also, I wanna processing specific in me what make people happy, and find my line and work on this line to show him about a real thing on me. If I want to share thing, I want to share a specific, like the reason or meaning about it. That's what make me to recognize before I'm sharing some stuff in the Facebook. But thank you for this opportunity to let me introduce myself. Say hi, how are you guys, and love you all. Yeah,
Well, that's a refreshing attitude. Unfortunately, I don't feel like we're in the right place for that. I'm in
wow,
America, and uh, it's kind of odd because this is what the subject of the day was, or maybe coincidentally or not. But it just seems like we're so divided in America and so angry at each other all the time. You come here and you say, "Well, I want to make people happy." It doesn't seem like this is the obviously
yeah,
we need more happiness, but it
yeah,
doesn't seem
yeah.
like we're receptive to it.
No, we work on it. There is something. There's we call it the spirit, and spirit doesn't make for any places or any human being. But you have to get that. I love Charlie Chaplin. He going there. He not doing specific thing, but there is. If I am as my experience, I see something in there that can make me happy too. He's in the moment. He's feeling good. He's a real happy inside himself. That's I'm not gay. I'm not that big, but that's my goal too.
Right.
But
So,
yeah,
sounds more like you're a religious leader than a comedian, though, because most comedians are, and maybe I'm a little jaded in this, but it seems like most times if I go to see a comedian, they're going to point out
yeah,
um, things that they're jaded about in life, things that they're upset about. A lot of comedy is based on
mm,
gripes.
no,
It's just like what's wrong with the world, and we talk a lot
yeah,
about that. You
yeah,
don't
yeah,
see a lot of comedians who are actually bringing a happiness message, even though they're bringing jokes and levity and want to make people laugh. The
right.
message they're bringing sometimes is a very negative message. Do you agree?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I saw people telling me that you're not telling a joke. Mine is like, let's say I'm that big, but mine I wanna. How can I say? I wanna do things that on me, but myself to make people happy. I'm not gonna take joke. I'm not that type. I'm not say good or bad. I'm not that big to say who was good. But the happiness I find it in me is a real. But I say I'm gonna share it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you manifest that?
Okay. You know, I go there and I say, "Hi guys, how are you? My name is Sam, and I'm the greatest comedian in the world." And they guess, "What is guys?" And I say, "Yeah, I'm very handsome. I'm gonna show them I'm very handsome. I'm greatest." And they're not interested. And then show them that I have a book. I can read a book. I have a lot of books here, and I show them the stuff I have. And I have a puppies with me. His name is Tommy. He's a real person. He can talk, but at the time he want to talk, Tommy, please just say hi to the people. Yeah, Tommy is very good and nice person. He's a migrant also. His real name is not Tommy. I'm gonna say, don't worry about it. People are gonna like him. He's angry, but he don't want to say something about himself. His name is not Tommy. His name is Jung. He moved from China. Don't worry. People love me. Yeah, man. No,
You're not performing this in comedy clubs, are you?
that's what my goal is. I do
Really?
think people real have fun, laugh, and then they're gonna come to me and say, "You make us happy." But yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. But are you have you studied the work of Andy Kaufman?
oh, that's what the people find me. They told me I love Andy Kaufman,
Yeah.
but that's
Well,
okay.
Andy started by doing something very similar to what you're doing. Like he would
Okay.
do not children's songs, but work with like puppets, and he has done some like "and the cow said," moo," and so
Yeah.
people didn't know how they thought it was a put on, but it seems to be. I don't want to kind of come to any conclusions here, but it seems to me you're pretty legitimate and sincere in what you're doing, and which I think with Andy it was a put on. but
Yeah,
with you, it seems like you're more sincere in it. Am I right about that? Like you
yeah,
just
yeah. That's how we find it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I
so
have to get touch on it, man. Yeah.
yeah. So are you actively like going out to open mic nights and comedy clubs and
Yes, I'm in here in LA. I used to be in Dallas. I worked there. I've been in a couple of comedy club in Dallas, Texas. I started there, but now I'm in Los Angeles. I go to improv, and yeah,
you
I go
work the
around.
improv? So and are you just doing open mic nights there? Or are you getting actual bookings
For
there?
me, as a work, I go there. I have to drive about 1 hour and a half. It's far for me. I have to wait. It's something as a work. I love it. I say work because make people laugh is too much work. I say it work.
Wow.
I'm not paying for get money for it. I love it to say work. Yeah, but
And
I go different places. Yeah,
how long you been in LA?
uh, about 1 year now.
1 year.
Yeah,
Now that's extremely competitive as far as the comedy market. Are you well received by
you
other
know that.
comedians?
Yeah,
Yeah. Are you making a lot of friends in comedy and networking and all that kind of stuff, or how are fellow comedians receiving you?
yeah. I have friends of to start to doing more networking and. But for now, my specific to get touch on me and find the real thing good. And as I work on myself and make people happy, the friend come me and say, "Hi, Sam, thank you to make us laugh." That's what I want to hear.
Wow.
Relationship I love, but more specific to find in me, how can I make the think real happy. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
It's an interesting approach you're taking there, and maybe
mm, yeah,
because it's so different than anybody else is doing out there. Maybe you'll find some luck with it. But I find that LA, most of the people who are in comedy really are using comedy as, or many, I shouldn't say most, many are using comedy as a stepping stone to something else, whether that be television, movies, or any of that kind of stuff. So you're dealing with a lot of that. And again, it's really competitive and cutthroat out there. Maybe another market might be more
right.
suitable for you.
Yeah. No, the thing I work on, and yeah, I have to build things. Is gonna be that's what my goal is. Is gonna be touch on me and show the real happiness, and then people gonna God and it's gonna figure out. But for now, I can give him a name. But as like you saw me now, and you say, "Oh, it is handicap." That's what I'm looking for. As
Yeah.
I know I have something I have to work on. But yeah, I want to show people like a real happiness, and people are gonna laugh. Yes.
Is the improv your main place, or you up and down the coast, or you just
Yeah.
basically staying in
Yeah.
LA?
Yeah. Being in LA now, it's just been good. It's it's lovely comedy club I know around there. That's what I my goal is to be in LA for now. I just stuck with this comedy I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
No other places I know I go there too. Yeah.
And where did I'm sorry if I missed this. Where did you immigrate from?
I'm Iranian. Yeah.
Iranian?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so was that an easy are you an American citizen now, or are you here with a visa, green card? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not
For now, green card. Yes.
yeah. Was that an easy way to get into the country, or was it difficult? Or?
Uh, yeah, it was difficult. It
Now,
was difficult for me, yes.
I
But
have I have a very good friend who's from Tehran. He's been here. Oh, he's
mm,
probably been here 40 years now.
mhm.
Uh, over there, could you have pursued what you're doing in Tehran, in Iran, for as a kind of motive for a living? Is comedy a thing there? Stand up comedy?
Yeah, I used to do as I told you in high school, but if something happened in my life, I got in touch with a job and things like that. But it's never get me more interested until I find the thing I love it here. No,
Right.
in Iran, I've been when I was like kids as a school. I stopped performing, and my mother stopped me. Yeah,
Interesting. Did you leave people behind? I mean, or did you bring family here with you, or are you here alone?
I alone. Yeah, I'm here
Wow,
alone.
that's got to be difficult. So you came to America with the goal of being a comedian all alone.
Yeah,
That's pretty courageous, my friend.
yeah, man. Yeah,
it
yes,
it takes a lot to kind of,
yeah.
have a dream, pursue it, go all the way around the world because
Right,
LA is really halfway around the world from
right.
from
Yes, you
around.
know where. Yes,
Yeah.
that's gonna be.
Does that add to the struggle for you? Are you in communication with folks back home and letting them know about your successes or lack of it,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff, keeping them apprised in your and is it well received back home? I mean, like family encouraging you in this pursuit?
Unbelievable for them that I'm gonna go there in front of American and speak English, but I start to tell them that yeah, I start let them know that I do this comedy and I love this stuff, and um, yeah,
Very
I'm
cool,
telling them,
man.
yeah,
Now, prejudice in America, because obviously
yeah,
uh, and as I mentioned, I have one friend from Iran,
right,
and I know he just saying he's from Iran, he doesn't always, lead with that, obviously.
right,
But in America, we've seen Iran as the enemy since 1978.
right.
Since the Iranian, since the Shah was removed and all that stuff.
Mm,
And
mm,
I don't want to get into the politics of stuff,
mm,
but when people find out you're from Iran, do you deal with a
right,
lot of prejudice and
yeah.
yeah? So is that difficult? Does that make being getting into comedy clubs and trying to make people happy? That's got to make things more difficult for you and slow your progress down? No.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. You know that I told you that I love the thing, and that's make me to grow and to think I love it. If you love something, you have to work on it. I see people with that drama they have in their mind. That's Iran, that stuff like. But me, I have a happiness. What can I do with it? I have to show it. It's too hard, but I have to work on. It. Yes, they say that's what you're doing here, your accent, stuff like that. But I can't leave that by grace of God and thank for this land we live in now, freedom of speech. I can talk. I have this opportunity. That's God brought me here. I'm not saying I'm not that big, but I practice something. Maybe one day I love to see me will have when people come to me like young or old, they say, "Oh, will make us happy. Thank you for." I just so I, feeling in my that I did something
Yeah.
because yeah, yeah,
I think part and I'm thinking this is not just an American
yeah,
thing. I think as a whole world, is we tend to look at each other. We look at people as different because you're from a different place, and forget that we're all people, and then get to know you as a person. So rather than think of you as an
right,
Iranian, just
right,
think of you as a man who I'm getting to
right.
meet for the first time, who happens to be from someplace else. But and, we have more in common than we have difference. But I think that's the problem worldwide, is we just want to see each other as from where we're from rather than who we are, the people we
Uh,
are. You know.
Yeah, yeah, no, there's a real people they see, but like as I still, they have also I give them permission because they don't know me. I am just know with accent, they don't know anything, but
Right.
they have to be see me. That's what I wanna go there like every week and say hi, how are you to the people, and they say, oh, welcome, and they start to know me a little, like you said, oh, Andy Kaufman, so I
Yeah.
say okay, yeah.
So when you were a young man or a child or even
Mm.
teenager, whatever, were you influenced by American comedians or were you influenced by Middle Eastern comedians? And did you have any exposure to like American entertainment?
Honestly, I'm not inspired with the. I love to watch all the American movie, and I've never be excited to become like one of them. I've never had that, but I think I think I said that I've been doing that when I was in high school, middle school, And one day we have celebrated. I was reading a joke in front of people, and because of my mother tell me that what you gonna do, she came in the school and started beating me in front of other people. That never do that. Why? We'll send you to become a doctor or something. They like it on other people too. They see the success and that's. Um, but me, I've never been interested. Like I start doing the thing positive they told me, but just because they don't want it, I never do it again. I stop to think I love it, but that's yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm looking at your Facebook page right now, and this is curious to me. The post is from January 22nd of this year, and you're at a place called Thursday Night Thunder, TNT Thursday Night Thunder in Stockton, California. And what is surprising to me is it looks like, and again, we're talking about prejudice and all this kind of stuff. It looks like to me to be a room that is largely a African American, a black comedy room. Is that are you playing to? Because and this is something that I've been educated on just recently and having conversations with different people who play comedy clubs, a
Uh,
difference between black audiences and white audiences in America.
yeah.
And are you more comfortable in front of an African American or black audience than a pure like white guy audience who might be inclined to see you as the Iranian guy?
Uh, yeah, as I say, I love to see. Uh, yeah, I love to see both of them make him happy. But um, yeah, both of them is good. I love them, but uh, it is good for me to work on myself at that moment when I'm on stage. I do something like people say you're more spiritual and religious people or humble people on the stage to make people happy. Never mind, never. Yeah.
Wow. Well, this is intriguingly interesting for me. And I hope the audience is with me on this, but I'm interested in this. Any disillusionment for you in w- whether things meeting your expectations or how things are going for you? Any kind of or not? Are you still committed to and stay upbeat about what your prospects are here?
Yeah. Yeah, I love what I'm doing and I want to stay with that. And
How do you
I'm,
maintain that? How do you maintain an upbeat, positive attitude? Again, dealing. I maybe I'm overstating this, but I would think
no.
the 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 odds or the society, the cultural things here seem to
Mhm.
be a
Right.
little bit stacked against you. So how do you maintain a positive attitude in all that and stay happy?
Yeah, man. If you want a specific, that's very philosophy thing on me. You know, I because I did meditation a lot, and I do that also, and I find that something. Uh, if I work on myself a lot, the thing I'm doing is make everything easy, and I can touch heart people, and that's my goal is to get that reach the guidance and change that thing. Yeah, I have a lot thought they come to me. It was stressful and a lot thing and but thank you for the mention that. But I have like
Wow.
God, the spirit with me. Yeah.
So when you came here now, when you came to America, I just trying to wrap my
Yeah.
head because I left home at 14 years old, going
Oh,
and I left the state I was in to go to another state where I didn't really have any friends or anything. How did
right.
tell me about the experience of first of all, if I may, how old were you when you left Iran?
29. No. Yeah,
29.
29.
So,
Yes.
and you came here all alone. What was your first stop, and how did you have anybody here that were friends here that you could say, or were you really all alone coming to a new country with no foundation, no people to go to say, hello, I'm here, welcome me?
Yeah. Uh, uh, I've been in other country too. I've been in Indonesia 5 years, and then I said I'm here 5 years. I've been traveling since I kids. I've been other countries too, but here in America, like we all know, it's difficult. Like as an immigrant, come with accent people. Uh, yeah, but I find in me like. Because I have this happiness, nobody gonna. What you gonna tell me? Why you wanna share that? They used to tell me that how you gonna perform yourself, how you gonna make that. But I go with the thing I have it in me. I'm not go with the people write thing and they gonna read it in front of people the joke. But I have something in me to go there and just doing puppies. My tummy is with me and so I'm sometimes missing thing. I losing the thing I want to say, and I say I forget my joke, and then after I thought, oh, that's what's funny, you know. But being touch with the thing I know and then work on it, it feel me good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, hopefully, people get have
Have you been
fun.
to New York and experienced the New York comedy club scene?
No comment, no, unfortunately, but I've been in New York. Yeah.
Uh,
And I started in Dallas, Texas, like about one
Dallas,
year.
Texas. Now
Yeah,
that it's hard for me to imagine a guy from Iran,
right.
or you say it
Around,
Iran, yeah,
around.
just fitting in or blending into the culture in Dallas, Texas. It's a very conservative, very cowboy town.
Right.
Yeah,
Cowboy town, you know. It was
culture
so,
shock, culture shock.
yeah. Yeah, you know, I went there, but that's what they accept me to say my thing that like I'm from Iran. That's what they accept. You have to go there and tell the joke the other they doing like they told joke about the thing they live in with or their family or the situation where they at. But me, I go with the thing I love. Like I go with my puppies. I say think about myself. I never say thing outside of me, and it was too hard for me. But I find I have to work on it. And as I work. It took me 1 year, and then people come and say, "Oh, that's a real fun. You have to work on it." Thank you.
A year is nothing.
Yeah, yeah,
A year is a
right,
second. It's a drop in
right.
the bucket in life. I mean, it
Yes,
goes by
yes.
so fast. I think this is a part of our problem as humans is we lack perspective on time and what it really means. And it really, a year, especially the younger you are, the longer a year seems. The older you get, it seems like it becomes shorter and shorter. But this is, they say
Yeah,
everything happens for a reason. I'm not sure I always believe that, and there are times when I completely don't believe that. But it feels like today there is something about today's program where we're kind of focusing on uplifting spirits and making people happy. It seems like maybe this moment and you being here on this day in particular, it's kind of meant to be. As weird as that sounds, maybe I'm getting a little too heavy there. But speaking of happiness, Kiara is back with us. This is called the Happy Minute. Please hang with us for this, and I hope you'll enjoy this. Uh,
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
I had
How are you?
some
Yeah.
technical difficulties just before you
Okay.
segued me in here.
Good to
I'm good
see
now.
you. Yeah.
Oh, you all right down there? I can't hear Matt.
Hey. Oh, Matt. Oh, yeah.
I
Can you
Matt,
hear
muted
Matt?
myself.
unmute.
Did I
Yeah.
mute
No,
myself?
it
Oh,
was
okay, okay,
yeah, mute.
I
Now we
okay.
hear you.
don't know
I
how
thought
to
I did something because I pressed buttons and
No,
everyone was going in slow motion for a second, but I
wow.
think we're okay.
Slow motion. Um, Sam is an unusual guy. Uh,
Okay.
he's a comedian, playing comedy clubs and working in comedy clubs, but not a joke teller. He's from Iran, and
Okay. Wow.
came here by himself, left his family, came to this country to be a comedian. Sam, if you could show her a little bit of what you do with the panda stuff, if you could.
Yeah, well, his name is Tommy. His name is Tommy. He's a real person. Tommy is gonna introduce himself. You like man? Tommy, say hi to the people. Just shy, little bit shy. Tommy, say hi. You see? Well, okay. Yes,
See, I
the time you want him to
now,
talk, he's not talking.
he's doing that to adults in comedy clubs. Now you're kind of you know a little enough about the comedy game and comedy clubs to know basically what a stand-up comedy, what the state of stand-up comedy is now, and guys going out there and just talking about problems in life and all this negative stuff, making jokes about it, and then seeing an act like that.
Right.
Like
That
confusing to people. So Sam's mission is not necessarily to tell jokes, but to make people happy.
right.
Yes.
Right.
Something you can relate to, right?
If I saw that act, I think I would burst out laughing. I would in the comedy club.
Yeah. It seems like a hard sell, but again, very courageous thing to be able
Right.
to leave a country halfway around the world. He's in
Yes.
LA, but his
Wow.
first stop was Dallas, Texas. Which,
Wow.
and I'm like, you know what, you've got to deal with a lot of prejudice, a lot of, oh, you're from Iran, because, basically in America, we have this attitude that Iran is the enemy. And so all the people who were there are our enemy, since 1978.
I don't feel that way.
You don't feel that way?
No.
We've been told that by the government for years. I mean, they've been called
Oh yeah.
part of the axis of evil and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah, but I don't believe that.
I don't.
Yeah.
You have to look.
Yeah.
I agree.
past that.
No, I agree. But there is that prejudice in America for somebody coming from there, and especially to walk into a comedy club with a little bit of an accent and a panda and the whole bit. Tough road to hoe.
Yeah.
Tough road to hoe.
I think it's funny.
I do.
I think it's clever.
Yeah. And I kind of compared him to, and this is before your time, but Andy Kaufman used to do similar stuff when he was first starting out.
Yeah.
He was doing Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
It's here I come to save the day.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey played him, and he did a really good job. Did you ever see that Man on the Moon?
Of course.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah. I was a huge Andy Kaufman fan, and very much influenced by some of the insanity he did. Now he got himself in trouble by being too committed to the bit sometimes, like wrestling women and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good with that.
You're not? Are you wrestling women? No.
Yeah, if they let me, I am good with that. I like it.
Wow. I'm not wrestling you. Forget it.
Okay.
I have like little noodle arms. I can't even,
Me too.
Yeah.
Me
Oh wow. Wait. No. Forget it. I can't.
I'm very strong man and very handsome. All the people know me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't have to
Button.
button it up, buddy. There you go.
Yes.
All right.
I want to show you more.
So, did you bring us some happy news for this segment, or anything funny, anything silly, anything uplifting, any of it?
Okay, I have something weird.
Weird is good.
Yeah, so this
I
is
think
from
this is
Positive.
a very weird day.
It is a very weird day, and that button does make a difference. That one button. Now, wow, look out.
I can't do mine.
Oh no.
I'm gonna choke.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, this is from Positive News. A road surface not to be sniffed. The highway made of used nappies. I have something to go along with this as well, but basically, it's a road in the UK, in Wales. South Wales has been recycling from Nappy Cycle. using these nappies for road
Nappy?
resurf. I guess it's wipes. Wipes.
All right.
Sorry, I'm
Oh,
sorry. I
like
should've-
napkins. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, nappies. Okay, sorry, Carl. It has. Sorry. They're using
Not a bad-
wipes for road resurfacing in a pilot scheme backed by the Welsh government. So they're hold on, I found it before. The firm uses around 800,000 nappies a week, and its operation literally takes the pee, even the urine extracted from the nappies is reused.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, wait. Can I just say that I shop at this like organic Whole Foods place by me, and the produce bags are recycled, and I was trying to get an avocado, and I was like, what is that smell? And I'm smelling the baby, and I'm looking around, and I'm looking at all the people, like someone wet themselves. They were the bags. They were used. They're
Ew.
recycled toilet paper. It
Ew.
smelled like urine. It smelled like a urinal. And I'm not for it. I'm sorry. Throw the nappies away.
I get it.
I don't want the nappies.
Gross.
I can't do the accent. I'm sorry. I'm under
You
pressure.
got a pretty good English accent, I have to say. I can't do a good English accent at all. I'm terrible at it, but I thought you were pretty convincing there.
Oh, thank you so much. No, I can't do I can do that, but I can't do Irish. It's very hard. And I just want to say, I don't know why I'm getting off topic, but we went to an Irish store yesterday. And these two I've never really seen like two actual Irish people with the brogues and everything. I love it. And I just eat it up. So these two women, they have these brogues. I can't do it. And they were so interesting. And the lady looked at my son and goes, is he coming into himself yet? And I said, what does that mean? What
What
is
does that
I
mean?
don't know. I don't know.
I know what
I
it
have no
means.
idea.
I
What's it
kind of
mean?
know. Is he showing a personality yet? Because kids.
Oh, okay.
Kids and pets, they take a while before you can say that is definitely something that's his thing, that's her thing, whatever. This is part of their personality, where they're not just eating, drinking, but they're actually showing you who they are, their personality. So that's what you mean by that. I'm sure of it.
I love their little sayings. I'm like, I don't think so. Should I be worried? Is he's not himself? Yeah, just the whole drive home.
But getting back to the road
Yes,
has
the road.
Oh my God! So the road smells like the bags that you.
Yeah, the whole title is a road not to be sniffed at. I mean, if I live on that road, and it smells like the used recycled produce bag that I had to use for my avocado, I think I'd have to move. I don't want your smelly pee-pee napkins on my road.
That would definitely weird me out. There are neighborhoods here on Long Island that stink. And it's not because of the roads of recycled toilet paper or whatever, but like cauliflower. Cauliflower, the farm, the cauliflower farms, you drive past them. There are houses in the neighborhoods. Cauliflower stinks when it's growing. I mean, really, it's the stinkiest weed. And
really?
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, it smells, it's putrid. And when you have like a couple of acres of it, it's overwhelming. And there are houses next to it. Like, how can you live there? How can you
Damn
live
it!
in those neighborhoods? Yeah.
That would be me. I'd finally find the picture perfect home, open the windows. Shit.
But it's only for like a couple of weeks while it gets like really ripe and that stuff. But still,
are you sure it's not the fertilizer?
I'm positive.
Because the duck farms.
No, because it's when they grow lettuce in the same field, it doesn't, or any other thing. It's the cauliflower specifically. Put cauliflower in a microwave for 2 minutes and see what it does to your house.
But we used to drive past the duck farms in Aquabog to get home. Yeah. Oh my goodness!
I know. Yeah.
Have you ever smelled duck poop, Sam?
Yeah. Oh. No.
Have you ever experienced?
Yeah, I've been walking around the lake and smell.
And pig poop over in Yaphank, the pig farms, the swine farm. It's pretty nasty as well. Yeah. Oh, we have to say goodbye to Govs. It's time to say goodbye to Govs. Wow,
Goodbye, governors.